You don't become a respected broadcaster like Ron Van Dam by just sitting on your ass. Although, come to think of it, that's what he does. He sits on his ass in front of a microphone for, like 30 minutes, Monday to Friday, doesn't work weekends. Oh man, I have got to rethink my career choices. You are listening to The Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Thank you very much.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
What are you doing here? Why are you here? What are you doing here? Don't you have anything better to do? Oh, you do? Okay. Wow. I'm making believe I'm having a conversation with you, which is literally impossible because it's a radio show. But I make believe sometimes, and it gets me through. Let me tell you about some of the people that make the show possible. I do this every once in a while at the beginning of the week because I am grateful to these people. Also, if things go wrong, I can blame them a little bit at least. It's not all on me. Well, first, there's announcer and comedy writer John Shanahan. Without him, I wouldn't be able to say that our announcer and comedy writer is John Shanahan. I wouldn't be able to. And then there's Julie Cochran, who does some of the voiceover work for this particular program. AI will probably kill her job eventually. You know what I'm saying? And then there's Jason Shaw. He does the theme music, the closing theme, and some incidental music, incidentally. He composes and performs himself and does that for this program. Thank you, Jason. And then there's Nicole Reed. Oh my God, Nicole Reed. She's one of the producers of this program. She brings on many of the national guests that we hear in the interviews on this show. Nicole, thank you so much for doing not only what I cannot do, but because I really don't want to do that. Even though sometimes I do, you do this really for me. So thank you. And then there are other people who get involved for no reason whatsoever, whom I don't really care to mention, and they ask me actually not to mention their names because of extreme embarrassment on their part. And then there's you, the general public, without whom I wouldn't be frustrated, angry. So thank you, man. Thank you for screwing up my life. All right. That's enough. I'll do it. Well, here we are. That's what I do sometimes when I have nothing to say to somebody. I just look at them and go, well, here we are. And they know it's time to go away now. I have mastered the art of small talk by limiting the amount of time that I spend with people. Now, not everybody. I mean, family and friends. Friends. What is that definition? What are those? Acquaintances that you can tolerate a little bit better than the other ones? What are friends, actually? There's no friend that I would drive to the airport, help paint their room in their house or their apartment, or help them move. There is nobody that I would do that with except family. Other than that, I'm going to come up with an excuse that you won't believe, but you don't have to believe because I just ain't doing it. Ron, you're the only person I can turn to. Can you drive me to the airport tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock in the morning? I'm sorry, I have a dentist appointment. It's a dental appointment. At 5 o'clock in the morning? I'm the first appointment, yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't have a dental appointment at 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, now you're going to insult me and then you expect me to drive you to the airport? Well, no way. Yeah. My excuses don't ring true, but it's a tip to you that I'm not driving you to the airport. Help you move? That means I have to lift things. For you? Hire somebody. Or find some other patsy to help you out. And then there's paint. Help me paint my room. You want to come over? If you help me paint the room, I'll get a pizza. You son of a bitch. You're going to help you do something that you would otherwise pay someone to do, like a painter, and you would pay them money. But me, a couple of slices of pizza? Are you insane? Is that the definition of friendship to you? Taking advantage of a human being because you know their middle name? Damn you. Damn you to hell. No. And as I've said so many times on this show, the definition of a friend has been bastardized by social media. I have thousands of friends, but I don't know who they are on Facebook. I know when their birthdays are, but I don't know who they are. It's annoying that I stay away from social. I mean, we advertise on it, we put our shows on it and that kind of stuff because you're supposed to do it. Otherwise, if you can't play the game, then don't play the game. I don't know who said that. Someone said that somewhere. So my media manager, social media marketing manager said, you really got to go on the social media. And I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've heard of Facebook, but I don't. Other than that, I don't. So, no, you got to be on Instapot. I said, oh, they said Instagram, but I heard Instapot. An acquaintance of mine, I was going to say a friend of mine, but that doesn't occur. A friend of an acquaintance of a friend of that I don't have, said, Ron, do you have an Instapot? I said, no, I do not get involved in social media. And he said, no. Instapot is it's a kitchen item. I said, I don't know. I've heard the word kitchen before, but beyond that, I don't know what you're talking about. Instapot, it's like, I said, is that a pressure cooker? Well, yeah, Ron, well, then say it's a pressure cooker. Don't say it's an Instapot. Now you're making up words to make people buy it. Oh, Ron, you got to get an Instapot. I don't have to. Oh, you've got that wrong. No, I don't have to. As a matter of fact, if you tell me that I have to get an Instapot, I will never get an Instapot just to defy you. Because that's what I do. To this day, I don't have an Instapot. I've never really seen one. I don't want to go close to one because I'm afraid it may explode or something. It's a pressure cooker. Ron, you can have an entire chicken dinner in 75 seconds. I don't want a dinner that fast. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy savoring the flavors, sautéing. I enjoy that. You want me to throw everything in a pot and turn a knob or push a button and then eat it? That's not fun. Who are you? What have you done to society? Now, this used to be the case with the air fryer. I think I did a show about this like a year ago. I have no idea. I have no concept of time anymore. Air fryer. Ron, did you have an air fryer? Why would I want to fry the air? I'll fry a chicken, but not the air. The air's got enough. Why do I want to fry the air for? I would slowly bake it. Now, Ron, an air fryer, you put the chicken in, and it fries it without any oil. Well, here's another idea. Why don't you take a chicken, put it in a pot, and cook it without any oil? Why do I need to buy a machine? Ron, it's amazing. It tastes like fried chicken, but there's no frying involved. I just totally don't care what you're talking about, to be honest with you. I'm not into it, so just shut up. So just shut up, because I don't know. Just shut up. I don't need more things to make my kitchen all full of gadgets. I have enough gadgets. I have enough gadgets in my kitchen. I don't. Recently, I bought a slicer. What do they call that? It's a vegetable slicer thing, and it's plastic, and it's got a crank on it. And when you turn the crank and shove the vegetable in the top of this little crank machine, it slices like cucumbers perfectly, nice and thin, perfect every time. That's fun. That's really nice for parties and things like that. But then you have to wash the equipment. And here's an idea. Take the cucumber and slice it with a knife. Ron, I've never thought of that. Yes, that is a way of doing it. A knife. And it's fun too. And it's not a big deal. You can go through that whole cucumber in a matter of, I'd say, 35 seconds. You take out the vegetable slicer. You have to put it together. You have to shove it in the thing. You got to turn the crank. Then it takes like another hour to clean the stuff, all the cucumber pieces out of the little wheel thing. And it's just, when you just take a knife and slice the cucumber. What is the freaking problem with you? We're making life too convenient. It is the human being's plight to make things easy. It's what we do. It's what we live for. To make things more efficient, that's an excuse. That doesn't make anything really more efficient, really. It just makes it easier for you, so you have more time to do nothing. This generation that's coming up, the Generation W, I don't know what you call yourselves. I did a show about this about a week ago, and I guess the greatest generation was like in the early 1900s. They were called the greatest generation. Generation now, the worst one. They will be known as the worst generation because you're letting all this stuff happen, and you know better. You know better. You know better. You're making everything way too easy. If I want to know what the weather is, do you think I'm going to go to a newspaper or turn on the TV and get a weather report or the radio or something? No, I'm going to turn to a device that's sitting on a table in every room of my house and ask the device what the weather is, and it will respond to me immediately. And you know the name of the device. It's a female's name. Life is too easy. Everything we buy, everything we do is to make life easier and more convenient. We are virtually making ourselves obsolete. Obsolete. Using your brain, obsolete. That's what we're striving for, to make things so freaking easy we don't have to do anything. Do you know how to cook? Do you enjoy cooking? I love to cook. It's one of my greatest hobbies. I enjoy it. Even if I'm just cooking for myself, it is so satisfying. It's unbelievable. It's satisfying up the ass. Is that a phrase? Is that a phrase? But some people don't like to cook. Don't have time to cook. I don't have time to cook. Then you don't have time to breathe. I can't breathe anymore. I don't have time. I love to cook. Now people are getting food delivered to their door every day, or getting ingredients to cook the food to their door with instructions. That seems like a lot. DoorDash. I don't know the names of the other ones because I'm not involved in that. I've never had food delivered to my door. Ever. Well, My parents did when I was a kid. I lived in Teaneck, New Jersey. I'm not asking for praise. I'm just telling you a fact. And there was a car that would go through the neighborhoods, and it had a plastic chicken on the roof. And it was called Chicken Delight. It was like Kentucky Fried Chicken very, very much, but it wasn't Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was called Chicken Delight. And they had the chicken, the fried chicken, and they also had ribs. And when my parents didn't feel like, my mother didn't know how to cook. I didn't know concept. I said, Mom, you're supposed to take the food and put it in the pan. A pan? I don't know what you're talking about. She couldn't cook. So every once in a while, we would have chicken or pizza delivered, actually, but more the chicken thing. And this little guy that was probably in his last year of high school would be driving this car with the plastic chicken on the roof. And he'd get out of the car, and he'd be dressed like a chicken or something like that. And he would come to the door, knock on the door, and we'd open the door, and there would be our chicken, and it had coleslaw in it, just like, I guess, it's like Kentucky Fried Chicken in a way, I guess so. And that would be our dinner. Our dinner they had a thing called TV dinner. Do you remember TV dinners? You don't remember anything because you're too young to remember anything. You have to be older to remember something. How can you go into your past when you didn't have one yet? My mother couldn't cook, as I said so many times. So in the supermarket, they sold an item called a Swanson's TV dinner. And there were other brands as well. TV dinner was it was a aluminum tray with little sections in it. And you would have your protein, which was usually a turkey or Salisbury steak. Salisbury steak was nothing but a lousy little piece of hamburger. But they called Salisbury steak because it came with some gravy, some brown gravy. And there'd be mashed potatoes on one side, and then usually peas on the other. That would be the green vegetable peas, which are really very starchy, so it didn't make any sense. But my brother and I loved the TV dinners. Could we watch TV while we had TV dinners? No, we had to eat in the kitchen. That was the rule. All food is in the kitchen. So we ate TV dinners without a TV in front of us. It was a stupid idea, but that's what we did. But we loved the TV dinners because they were pre-made and all that kind of, they were tasty. They were tasty. And if you had a mother that couldn't cook, you wanted a TV dinner. But in the middle for dessert in this TV dinner, in the middle part of the tray between the peas and the mashed potatoes, would be this like hot pie thing. And it didn't really have any crust. It was just like apple pie and some type of apple pie-ish kind of filling kind of little thing. And it wasn't apple pie. It was hot molten lava. And no matter what time of day, no matter how long it was sitting there, it was always hot molten lava. It was the only thing that held its temperature of 2,000 degrees for days. So yeah, when I was a kid, we did a lot of food eating from the front door coming into the house. But as an adult, I learned to love to cook. And I will be damned if I will ever have food delivered to my door. Ever. Some people call the Chinese restaurant and they ask for a delivery. I say, you don't deserve that. Get in your freaking car or call a friend and have them pick up the Chinese food for you, because that's what you're supposed to do. Get up off your ass. Even if it's to go get the food, get up off your ass. Even if it's just to walk to the car in the driveway, and then get out of the car and walk into the restaurant to get the food, then get back in the car and drive home. At least you've performed some type of movement. Not a lot of movement, but some type of movement. Did you ever get into the situation where you're sitting watching TV or you're sitting in a chair or something and you have to go to the bathroom and you say to yourself, oh, God, I don't feel like getting up. You're a lazy son of a bitch. You're even too lazy to get up and walk to your bathroom to unload yourself. That's like a chore for you. You've really got to see somebody. You need an intervention. You need something. Maybe electroshock therapy or something like that. You got to move around a little bit. I've told you my story before. I felt like I wasn't moving around. As John, the announcer, said, I sit on my ass to do this show. I don't move around at all. My mouth moves. That's about it. So I decide I have a dog. I walk my dog 2 or 3 times a day for a good distance. So I get my exercise. If it wasn't for my dog, I'd just be sitting in a chair looking at my pants all day. And if looking at your pants has become your favorite hobby, you need to be rescued. Yeah. Anyway, I have an interesting guest. Well, matter of opinion. I have a guest coming up momentarily. But first, someone's got to pay for this show, and obviously it's not you. I wouldn't even ask because I know what the answer would be. So we have commercials. So first, there's this.
Give the gift that says, I love you. The gift that says, happy birthday. The gift that says, get well soon. The gift that says, you're the reason I went into the priesthood. The gift that says, congratulations on not getting indicted. The gift that says, I want to cover you in warm chocolate pudding. The gift that says, good luck in clown college. The gift that says, thanks for removing my unsightly wart. The gift that says, sorry about giving you food poisoning. The gift that says, I'll see you in hell. The gift that says, remember the good times we had in prison. The gift that says, I want to make sweet love to you on the white sand beaches of Rio while your hot cousin watches. The gift that says, thank you for the kidney. The gift that says, you deserve all the best, but this will have to do. The gift that says, thanks, Jesus. Whatever you want to say, you can say it beautifully with a timeless gift from Phyllis Gorman's House of Macaroni Art on Route 94 just past the Rotary, across from Sweaty Palmer's Adult Emporium.
Dr. John Pandolino joins us now. He's Chief of Gastroenterology and Hepatology at Northwestern Medicine. It's a lot to say for me there, John. Thanks for being with us today. We're talking about acid reflux and perhaps a technical name for that, what we call a disease. Before we get started, thanks for being here. And secondly, I don't know the difference if I have some that needs attention or just a Tums or some acid reflux over the counter thing. Are there varying degrees of this situation?
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to be here to talk about GERD because I think it's a pretty important topic, and a lot of people have it and they don't really know or they don't know what it is. And GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease, is a fancy name, is really what people get when they feel heartburn. Uh-huh. It's movement of stomach contents up into your esophagus and your chest, and then sometimes even into your throat and maybe into your lungs, where people get chronic cough and a sore throat. So it is a problem that people may not initially, think is related to the reflux disease, but certainly can be. And a lot of times it's a process of elimination. So, what you're saying is true. How do people know when they have it? And it can be difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I've had that feeling in my throat maybe once every month or so, and if I eat certain foods, it's going to hurt a little bit, and I have to pop something in my mouth. But I don't know. I guess the question is, what's the definition of chronic?
Yeah, that's a good point too, because like you said, you take a Tums or an antacid every now and then. That's not as big a deal, but if you start to notice that the symptoms are becoming more chronic, meaning that, once or twice a week you're starting to have to use antacid, maybe even more than that, you start to notice that it's affecting your quality of life. I mean, in particular for you who's talking all day, if your voice starts to become really raspy and you start to get more hoarse, a lot more discomfort, you're finding it hard to finish your day. I mean, I think that's really where people need to start thinking about talking to their primary care doctor about it.
Yeah. Besides the discomfort or the quality of life because of, raspy throat, whatever, are there serious ramifications to not doing anything about it? Is there damage being done?
Yeah, so certainly because reflux has acid and digestive enzymes, it can irritate your esophagus and it can irritate your throat. It can cause ulcers and bleeding. It can cause strictures, which are scars that can actually block food from getting into your stomach, and that can be a life-threatening problem. And then, of course, there is this risk of cancer of the esophagus, which is associated with GERD. But I don't want to alarm the audience. You know, that's rare to happen with gastroesophageal reflux disease, but it's certainly something we look at and we're certainly thinking about.
Okay. So besides just taking these little over-the-counter antacids, when it becomes more consistent, that's when you see someone like yourself. What is done at that point in order to? Is there a diagnosis that would come about?
Yeah. So when people are not, are coming in with these significant symptoms more frequent, probably the first step that happens is an upper endoscopy, which is a camera on the end of a tube that goes down your throat into your esophagus to look around. And really what you're doing there is you're looking for potential injury, ulcers, and you're also looking for something that might be a pre-malignant, meaning that something that happens before cancer that we can fix and address right away. And if we identify that, we just watch you very closely and you'll never get cancer.
Oh, so
really the endoscopy.
Okay, so that's
the first step.
I mean, most of us are familiar with colonoscopies because at some age you should have that done. So this is just up there as opposed to down there.
Exactly. Not the different scope, but definitely the same concept.
Okay. All right. What happens if you find that there is something that needs to be treated? Is that normally done at a facility?
Yeah, so if you're doing the endoscopy and say, for instance, I see that you have some scarring or stricturing that's blocking food, I can put a balloon in there and stretch that out and fix that almost immediately.
Oh.
If I see that you have significant ulcers or injury, I can put you on medications and heal that. And then certainly if we find that you have pre-malignant changes and that those put you at a little bit higher risk, we can actually do something called ablation, which means we literally kind of shave it or cut it out or burn it out with some techniques.
Okay. So this is treatable if you know that you actually have something to treat.
Exactly. And you see your primary care doctor and your gastroenterologist, they'll protect you from getting anything bad.
Okay. Now, you guys at Northwestern University, we talk to you a lot. You do a lot of forward-thinking things over there, I understand.
Yeah, we try to really approach everything with a more precision approach or a personalized approach, and I think that's really kind of the model of how medicine should be practiced.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Okay, well, you've opened our eyes to this. Well, not particularly the eyes, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's important to know. I think we all know some people that have these, I guess, disorders, is what you would call it, or extreme discomfort. So it's good to bring it up and to talk about it. Where would we go for more information? Website, perhaps, that has some of this information.
Yeah, so certainly at our website at www.nm.org, where you can go in and plug in GERD. You'll be taken to our GERD website. And at that site, there is a chatbot tool and our assessment tool where you can answer a few questions, get a little bit of an idea of what you may need and get referred to a practitioner if you require that. There's also some nice information regarding reflux disease at that particular site. And I think, we really want to focus on the entire person. And, if you come to Northwestern with reflux, you may leave with a referral to a behavioral specialist.
Right.
You may leave with a referral to a surgeon and everything in between. So we really try to use precision medicine when we treat the patient.
Could be something as simple as diet and exercise and losing some weight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, once again, we start small and start with the easy stuff. If we identify something that we can change, we'll definitely do that. We also address the relationship between stress and these GI symptoms. A lot of people were under significant stress.
Yeah.
Their GI tract can get significantly overwhelmed.
Hello. I think you're talking about everybody now. All right. One more time, that would be www.nm.org. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, sir. Pleasure speaking to you, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you to my guest, and thank you to you. I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new episode. We're celebrating tomorrow, by the way, because, I've been doing radio for a long time, as you probably know, 30, 35 years, something like that. But then someone said, hey, Ron, go into podcasting. And I said, why? And they said, because. And I said, okay, all right. So tomorrow it would be our 3,000th episode of this podcast show. Is that dedication or incredible stupidity? We'll find out, but that's tomorrow. Until that time arrives, well, of course, without question, I wish you peace.